The kettlebell swing is usually our first introduction into kettlebell training, and it's because it packs a lot of powerful components to it, right? When we as trainers want to start working with people, we want to build a movement pattern. So the hinge is a very important one that often gets lost in a person's movement library as some sort of squat hybrid thing. Don't really understand how to stay connected to the floor while pushing our hips back and then driving through the floor to come up. So even in kettlebell land, we start with the deadlift, but we need to progress that in ways other than just getting heavier, because it's super important to be able to maintain tension and control that on the up and the down of a deadlift. What the kettlebell swing provides, more than just that heart rate jump, is training the body to be able to absorb and emit force throughout the entire body by driving through the floor. Right, now that comes in with any sport we do. It's important to have that as not just a metabolic movement or a mobility movement, but just that ability to create and emit force to bulletproof yourself, right? So here's a couple of common things that I'd like you to think about with your swing to see if we're doing these right. If your hinge is not a hinge, it's squatty, or your back is round, we're not ready for swings yet. Work on your deadlift. Find that hinge. Also, don't go for high rep sets. Keep them at sets of 10 or under. Form will start to fall apart, especially as we're teaching these. Break it down into single rep sets. But make sure a couple of things are happening. You want to make sure that your feet stay connected in the floor the whole time. Not just the heels, but the toes as well. In that when you get that good first hike, that you're driving through the floor to bring your hips forward and not snapping your knees back. Right? That's different. This is where the knees are taking all the brunt of the force versus your hamstrings and your glutes. The final thing I want you to think about with this is you're going to play chicken and attack your zipper with the kettlebell. So at the last moment, we go back into our hinge. What that does is it allows us to absorb the force of the kettlebell along our torso and back, as opposed to in another direction where now our spine is fighting it and bending. So, root the feet, get a strong hike, and attack your zipper. And you'll start to see with the people you train or in your own training some great carryover into whatever type of life activity they're doing, whether it's a sport or playing with their kids. But watch out for those points, and you're going to learn to get a lot more out of the swing than just elevating your heart rate. That's going to come no matter what.